evening, everyone. Thank y'all for coming to Greater is here in DeKalb County. We feel like we're at home with our CEO, Mr. Michael Thurman. Commissioner Larry Johnson, and so many other dignified guests. Tonight we're going to have a great night. Not only are we going to have fun, but we're going to find out some great information about contracting that Miss Anna has put together. Such a great event, so we want to give Miss Anna the round of applause. Anna Henderson. And virtually we have our Vice President of Operations, Veronique Thomas. She's helping us on the technical side, as well as Cynthia McAllister. And again, we're going to have a good event, find out some good information. DeKalb County, Mr. Thurman will tell you about some great things going on. And I want to say this. I know it's challenging, and during the pandemic, 41% of Black businesses shut down. Many was unbanked, didn't have a relationships with banks. A lot of them didn't know how. I don't know if Commissioner and Mr. Thurman know that. We work behind the scenes till the wee hours in DeKalb County with Mr. George Andrews. And we were able to give so many businesses the opportunity to stay in business with the PPP loan. So now the PPP loan is, no longer there. The PPP grant, right? You didn't have to pay it back if you did the paperwork right. Then we had the EIDL, and now the EIDL is expired. But we have a friend in Washington. His name is Undersecretary Donald Cravens Jr. We're both from Louisiana. His dad mentored me, Donald Cravens Sr. In August, we're going to have a national event here in Georgia, and we're going to honor Donald Cravens Sr. And the reason I'm saying all of this is because we are communicating, we are advocating. I'm also part of the National Black Chamber of Commerce, and what we do is advocate. So we take our communication from Larry and Mr. Thurman, and we go to Washington, D.C., and we say, look, we need more programs. So with the Reinvestment Act and a lot of other information that are available, a lot of times we don't know about it. So this is why you would say, well, why do you need a Black chamber? It's not to offend anyone. It is just to help and to contribute, to collaborate, for partnership, and say, how do we make it better? As we talk about diversity and inclusion, the most important thing is diversity and inclusion equals success. It is not to divide, it is to bring together. It is to grow, it is to build, and that's why we call ourselves the bridge builders. I'm going to give you a little story, and then I know y'all ready for the program because y'all came to hear all this great information. We started our chamber in a non-traditional community. We started our chamber in Fayetteville, Georgia. You can look it up, very conservative community that we started a Black chamber. And I'll be honest, I came to Decatur many years, and Commissioner Larry Johnson welcomed me, and he don't know how he changed me. I met with Mr. Thurman, and he said, wow, look what you're doing. So I want to let y'all know DeKalb has a special place in my heart, because when we started our chamber, Fayette County wasn't friendly to us. They told us to get out. They didn't want us. They didn't need us. Now they think. Our work has done such a significant, I don't even know how to tell you this, but if you talk to Dan Cathy, who is the chair of Chick-fil-A, he will share the story. He'll tell you right now, they're doing over $500 million of dirt they're turning over right now. And it's because of the participation of diversity and inclusion that they allow us, or really asked us, to participate in, to bring a community together. And this is why we focus so much on bridge building and not division and separation. It's to bring a community together where we work with people who may not look like us, may not talk like us, different culture. But this is what's needed for growth. So we want to let you know tonight that we are your advocate. And this is why we take pride in DeKalb County, because DeKalb County has a special place. And I remember meeting with Teresa Walker when I first relocated to Georgia. And I'll be honest, I'll make a joke, but this is serious. When you guys were talking about Spaghetti Junction, I thought y'all were talking about food, because I'm from Louisiana. I'm like, where is it, right? I had no idea it was an infrastructure going on, right? Or something like that. So Teresa Walker said, Melinda, you need to get you some conservative friends in Fayetteville, because you're in a conservative community. So I took her advice, and see, this is how you grow. I took her advice. So I took Teresa Walker. She mentored me when I first got here. And Teresa said, look, get you some. So I got me some conservative friends. And Mr. Jim Pace and I, we worked together to bring Fayette County together, the city of Fayetteville. And I would just ask y'all to look at it and see the work that we did. We would love the opportunity to call DeKalb our home and do some of the same work. I know there's no space, I was told, but we can work in basements, you know. We don't need a big building. But anyway, so the true story is that DeKalb County have a lot of good things going on. It is great in DeKalb County, and it's up to us as a community to say, how do we work with our local leaders? And yes, you know, everybody's getting geared up. Presidential election is in 24, but I'm going to tell you this. Everything is local. Local politics, local leaders is very important. Support your local leaders. They need your help. They need your voices. You know, so again, thank you all for coming. I won't make it long. Tonight is about great information, honoring the great man who started the first Black chamber in Georgia, Mr. Lewis Walker. And that was started and the vision and the seed that Mr. Lewis Walker did, Lew Walker did, not only for the chambers and Black business, but think about his impact in the film industry. You know, think about it. Now you have an African-American man who was once homeless, and from my home state, of course, right? Now, look at that. One of the largest movie studios in the world that we can take pride of. We have folks that are listening to us from Kenya because they want to know what DeKalb is doing. And why are we saying greater is in DeKalb? They say, wait up, we're in Kenya. We want to know what y'all doing out here. So again, no further ado, Ms. Anna, thank you. God bless you. And y'all have a great time. My name is Melinda Sylvester, President and CEO of the Greater Georgia Black Chamber of Commerce. And I want to say thanks to my husband, Clarence Sylvester, in the lavender shirt. Raise your hand, sir. And he's the co-founder of the chamber, and I have to give credit to my daughter who gives me all these visions, and my son. So definitely it takes a tribe. And to every board member, chamber members, volunteer, Malcolm Hughes, I hate to miss names, Jennifer Jackson, the name goes on, but thank you all. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. I'm Anna Henderson. I'm the Outreach Business Advocate for the Greater Georgia Black Chamber of Commerce. And I would just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to be here, because you could be somewhere else, maybe at Red Lobster or the steakhouse or eating your meals, but here you are. So I just want to say to each of you, thank you very much. And I'll just simply add to what Melinda just stated, that this event opens the door for access to information from major companies, major corporations about major projects. And I know that's what you're here for. You're here to have an understanding of, with them, what's in it for me. So we want to make certain that we do that for you. And we also want to thank those persons who have been instrumental in helping make this happen. So I want to thank Mr. Timothy. Are you somewhere in the audience so you can, yes. Please take a bag of those pecans. They are the best pecans this side of the Mississippi. And he and his parents own a, can I say pecan orchard? Okay, Pecan Farm, the first that I am aware of that's African-American owned. So we definitely want you to patronize this company. So give him a round of applause for all that they're doing. And we also want to thank Overground Railroad. Overground Railroad is an organization that connects churches to people and churches to organizations. And we have in this audience Vince, a gentleman that you will see walking around. Vince, raise your hand if you stand up so they can see you. So when he's in your face, asking questions and trying to get comments from you, he wants to understand, as part of what he's doing for Overground Railroad, what is this all about? And it's going to be on the website. So make certain you show your best side, you know what I mean? So when he's talking with you. So thank you so much for Overground Railroad. We also have DeKalb County. Thank you all for taking the time to be here. Infotech, the gentleman that did our flyer, so thank you. And most importantly, but not least, I would like to introduce to some and present to those who know him. I want you to stand up, Pastor Marlon Harris, one of the foremost DeKalb County pastors in this county. But I need you to say something. Say something, please.
Good evening, everyone. How are you all doing? Good, good. Let me just extend a very warm welcome to each of you. Whenever you come to New Life, you're home. You're home. Make yourself at home. I am so honored to be a part of what's happening in the area of the Georgia Black Chamber of Commerce and to undergird black businesses. I don't think that we give ourselves enough credit for the economic prosperity of the history of our nation. Black ingenuity is the foundation of this country. We came over here as slaves, not because we were coming for R&R. It was the ingenuity from Africa that built this country. And the systems and the structures and those things that the country is built upon was because of black ingenuity. From slavery to Jim Crow to segregation to civil rights to where we are now, we have always been a backbone, a foundation, a stalwart. And I want you to know, to be proud of the fact that you are a black business, because that builds not just the country, but it also builds our economy. So express yourself, grow yourself, stretch yourself, have ideas, take risk, jump out, do those things that you are gifted to do uniquely, and watch how your business grows and how this country grows and how this county grows. Because as goes the business, so goes the community. Thank you so much for being here at New Life.
Thank you. So the next up is somebody I think all of us know. And I think, this is my personal opinion, that he's a unique individual. And I'm reminded of during COVID, who would have thought a plastic card that you give somebody that they will go and get that shot? Our CEO thought of that idea. Now, he got some pushback, but guess what? A lot of you showed up and got that $100 gift card, and you got your shot. So I want to bring to this mic the one and only, the best in any county, your CEO. What is your name? I don't remember your name. CEO Michael Thurman. Let's give him a hand.
Thank you, Ms. Henderson. Let's get this beautiful, determined lady who will cuss you out if you don't do what she tells you to do. Give her a round of applause. Give her a round of applause. And she knows it's true. We've been friends too long. President Sylvester. But first, Pastor Harris, thank you so much. Isn't this isn't God good right here at New Life? This is an amazing spiritual leader, my friend, and we're just so proud to partner with him. You'll hear from my colleagues in the governing authority here, Commissioner Larry Johnson and Commissioner Marita Davis Johnson. You'll hear from them, Dorian DeBar and others, and thank y'all so much for being here. Welcome to DeKalb County. I love this county. We are a county of business owners, particularly small black businessmen and women, and I'm just so proud that the Black Chamber of Commerce understands the importance of coming here to where the godfather, the founding father of black commerce, chambers of commerce in Georgia, actually served us, Mr. Lou Walker. Give him a hand. Isn't that great? Right here, right here. Now, I'm not going to talk long because y'all came here to make money. And I know y'all see me as a politician, but actually I'm a business owner. Have been throughout my life. Started a business, raised my family with the money I raised. And you know, I want to congratulate each and every one of you all for having the courage and the skill and determination to step out there on faith and embrace entrepreneurship. It's not easy, isn't it? And those people who say, I'm going to start me a business because I'm tired of working hard, they don't know what they're talking about. You know, don't people tell you that, yep. But it's something to come to work on Monday and not quite know how you're going to make that payroll on Friday. But he always on time, isn't he? Let's give God a round of applause because he can make it work for you. Check will show up in the mailbox. You wasn't expected, isn't that right? We work with PPP, Al Evans, but we also generated our own business loan program that was that turned to a grant. We distributed over $6 million working with our board of commissioners, the small minority-owned businesses, working with, come on now, if y'all out there, come on. Working with Citizen Trust. Our SPLOS is a program, capital investments, and I'm going to let Commissioner Johnson & Johnson talk about it in detail, but we're paving roads, we're remodeling senior centers, rec centers. DeKalb County is spending $300 million, or has spent about $300 million. 44% of that $300 million have gone to black-owned businesses. Not 5%, not 10%, not 20%, but 44%. With our water and sewer program, we're spending maybe about $100 million a year to repair and restore and replace our water and sewer system. One of the key players in that is a black-owned businessman, and he's sitting here. Al will stand up in our water and sewer program. I mean, he is a leader in that. And then and I'll stop because I'm going to do a little business. I thought I'd do it. CEO, right? Now, while I'm still CEO, I'm going to do it. My time running out. I'm in the fourth quarter. And I got 2 minutes left on the clock. But I got 4 timeouts in my back pocket, so this is going to take a while. I'm going to be up here. So we've been distributing once a month 5,000 boxes of fresh fruits and vegetables and protein, primarily produced and raised by Georgia farmers. Chicken and a dozen eggs, and the eggs are very popular. I decided, and whenever we could, we've done business with African-American farmers and producers, right? We do it once a month. We got one next Saturday, but for June, I think we ought to buy 5,000 bags of peanuts. Pecans. Are they pecans? Oh, I didn't even know what he was talking about. What's a pecan? What is that? A pecan. So, Commissioners Johnson & Johnson, you know, I don't do nothing. Do y'all think it would be appropriate for us to reach out to this brother and purchase 5,000 bags of pecan and put them in the box for June? What's that matter? That's all I need. I got 2 yays. 5,000 bags, brother. God bless y'all. Thank you.
And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You can say, I saw it here, I heard it here, it happened here. DeKalb County, a business owner that decided to actually help this chamber with this event. When I met with him, I'll tell you the little story. When I met with him, I said, you need to be at this event. I said, these pecans that you these pecans that you have, they are awesome. And he said, well, how can I help you? And I said, you know what? We need to have some food to serve the people. So guess what? That food out there is as a result of this guy right here. Now, let me tell you what else I told him. I said, for every contract you get from this, you give me my percent. So. So thank you so very much. So at this time, and we're going to move to the major contractors very shortly. At this time, I want to call someone up that I've known for a long time. And I've seen him grow from this to this. And this is this man that's sitting in front of me. He started out with a two-man show. And now he has offices all across the United States. Let's give him, stand up again, let's give Al Edwards a round of applause. Come on up. Melinda. So what we wanted to do for Al, he's been around for 28 years. And we talked about legacy businesses in DeKalb. And he's one of those legacy business in DeKalb. And to add more value to this man, he also makes a difference in the community. He has done, you know what, that's your story. I'm sorry. I present to you Al Edwards.
All right. Thank you, Anna. Hey, good evening. How's everyone? You know, when Anna Henderson calls, you know, like CEO Thurman says, you know, you have to respond. We have this kinship that go back many moons. And as we kind of assemble in the house of the Lord, you know, I look for grace in all things. And I was thinking about, I was looking at the Lew Walker Award, which I received in 2008, 15 years ago, April 8th of 2008. As a matter of fact, my son Gabriel was just 1 year old. He was sitting on Rowena's lap. And I really didn't know why they were giving me the award. You know, Teresa, she would nudge, I would come and help. And I stood up and I really didn't know what to say or what was expected, but all I did was follow the lead of the leaders, the Lew Walkers, the Teresa Walker, the Dale Delapers. And so I heard President Snyder say, President Sylvester, excuse me. I heard her mention collaboration. And I want to share a little piece of my story because I think it's really, in this generation, I think it's about collaboration. Each generation is faced with its own set of challenges, but for us, it's collaboration. You know, and as we look back to our ancestors, you know, there are a number of parables out there that talk about the importance of working together. When we walk together, a path is made. It's if you want to go fast, go at it alone. If you want to go far, take somebody with you. So I was 16 years old and youngest of 4 boys from Pritchard, Alabama, and we had lost both parents, and so my brothers were raising me. And it was a Larry Johnson, a gentleman by the name of John Sanderson, who's the city councilman in Pritchard, who suggested to the Corps of Engineers that they hire kids from this African-American school. The Corps of Engineers had been sued for discriminatory practices in this hiring. And there were no black engineers sitting around in Mobile at the time. So he suggested, well, try these students. And on my first day, matter of fact, I went to work, I was to get there at 12, and I get there, and it was the company picnic that day. So I worked for 1 hour and was on my way back to the bus, and I met this fellow by the name of Marcus Reese. I kind of knew him from the neighborhood. I saw him around but didn't know him. and he asked me to come on ride to the company picnic with me. 16 years old, and subsequently we got to be friends. I'd moved from one brother's house to another brother's house, and it was outside of the neighborhood where I grew up. And Marcus lived 2 blocks from this new place. And we had this idea of starting this company. And we had business cards. Now, Marcus passed out business cards because he was trying to date, right? But we cast this vision. And almost 15 years to the date, we started this company, CERM. And so it's been an amazing journey. We landed in the South DeKalb Business Incubator right down the street here, right? Less than a mile from here. And and what I see, our company, we're about 150 people. We have offices across the Southeast, but we work across the country. And there's just tremendous opportunities, and it's really on us, but we have to collaborate. So much of this is about scale. You know, I'm just offering nuggets, because I could talk for a while, but it's simply about scale, and it's about collaboration. So we saw that with the pandemic. Many of us were simply under scale, so the PPP didn't work as well for the minority businesses as it did with some of the others because our numbers were low. We have to build scale. In our business, we're an engineering and program management firm, and there's 70,000 similar firms across the country. Only 3.5% have greater than 50 people. That 3.5% control 75% of $1 trillion market. It's a huge market. So we have to build, and what I find is, and as you meet with the large companies and partners today, in addition to collaborating with your colleagues, forming joint ventures to build capacity, but also reciprocate. You'll be surprised. Some of them will follow you. So our best partners are the ones we met in this community in a very similar fashion, and subsequently the work was done well, and those partnerships grew outside of DeKalb. And then they grew outside of Metro Atlanta, right? And we've turned down international work because I just like to sleep at home. My son plays travel baseball, so we have to, I enjoy spending that time. So we're not ready to go international. So that's what it's about. But I'm so appreciative to the chamber for this great work. And then also my friend, again, another point of grace, Underground Railroad, Aaron Turpo, one of the founders. Coincidentally, I was at his house just yesterday, helping him. Yeah, he has a pond in his backyard, or a lake, and we're looking at the dam system that supports it. But our work is primarily in that infrastructure and commercial space. And there are just unbelievable opportunities in the infrastructure space, particularly in workforce. And my greatest joy is the job creation piece of what we get to do. I think we have employees, members of our team, from practically every high school in DeKalb County. I mean, we could tell countless stories. One young man who went to Southern University, who went to Southwest DeKalb, or the mighty Southwest DeKalb, as he would say, well, he's been promoted 3 times, well, he's been promoted 5 times in 3 years within the company, but he's back in the same neighborhood coaching a baseball team, right? Is that good? I mean, I got a whole list. About 15% of all our folks come through what we call a shadowing program. And what we're doing there is just introducing folks, because at the Corps of Engineers, I met a gentleman by the name of Robert E. Brown. And I come to find out later, Commissioner Johnson, that he was a classmate of Robert L. Brown. So Robert E. Brown, he showed me, and then subsequently Robert L. Brown became my business mentor here. So thank you all so much. Grow to scale. It's about service, that job creation piece. Tremendous resources are available now, but at the end of the day, it's about collaboration. So thank you all. Thank you for this kind recognition. And thank you all. Thank you for all that you do. And congratulations with your businesses.
Anna wants me to give you this award and take a photo. Anna makes me do things too.
No.
There you go.
Vince.
I got you.
Vince going to take it.
All right. She wants me in the photo.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very much.
All right, so congratulations again, Mr. Edwards.
So Larry comes up now.
Okay, the next one going to be someone we know, but I want to do a shout out real quick to Erica with the Vietnamese American Chamber of Commerce. This is collaboration right here. Erica, stand up, just say hi real quick. Thank you all for coming. Then we have another Erica, and Erica, Woman Going Global Construction, one of our team leads. So thank you for coming. All right, Mr. Commissioner Larry Johnson.
While he's coming up, I'll just share a little information, and then he can just add to it. You've heard about Lou Walker, and you heard about the things that he's done. Lou Walker was instrumental in my becoming part of the Georgia Black Chamber of Commerce years ago. And well, after Lou passed, and Dale Delper shortly thereafter, so Teresa Walker looked around and said, Anna, you need to be president. I said, I don't like that job. Too many people are disappearing. So I said, I need to give it some thought. But anyway, so I took it on and had an opportunity to do a lot of the things that Commissioner Lou Walker, shared with me in terms of how to do and how to operate. So one of the things that was important to me and also to the chamber is that we honor Lou Walker. So I called this gentleman right here and I said, I don't want us to forget who he is. We would not have a hospital. We wouldn't have the Lou Walker Senior Center. He was a champion for those major projects and other projects. And so I asked this gentleman, can you please make Lou Walker's birthday, February 20th, Lou Walker's Day in DeKalb County. So let's give this man a round of applause for making it happen. So I'm going to turn this over to him.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. It's good to be here at the chamber meeting and glad that you all came out because this is opportunity, like Mr. Edwards said, about collaboration, partnerships, and how do we build public-private partnerships as we move forward. So this is a very good day to be in DeKalb. I'm going to have my colleague come on and stand with me, Marita Davis Johnson, as I read this proclamation. And thank you, Pastor Harris, for opening up your church doors to us. And this is if you get a chance to come here on Saturdays, they have a barber shop, beauty shop, they have a department store, they have a food, give out food, I think once or twice a week in here. So, and he was one of the pastors who didn't leave me. You know how folks were leaving when I first took over. You know how they was talking about Candler Road in the beginning, and everybody was fleeing, everybody was going. I said, and then he chose to move back on Candler Road, first at the old Southwest DeKalb High School, which is right over here on Candler, and then he built this beautiful edifice that's really a family resource center. So let's give him a great hand again. Thank you, Pastor. So I want to honor a great man, and it was good that I got a chance to serve with Lou Walker. This is my 20th anniversary in office, but I had a chance to serve with Lou Walker, and also I had a chance to work for Commissioner Hank Johnson. And our story is that I ran for county commissioner in 2000, and it was and I didn't know anything. I was just trying to do something to help Pastor South DeKalb. And I didn't know you didn't supposed to run a year ahead of time. And so by the time I got to qualifying, I was worn out. But my slogan was the youngest candidate with the most experience. And so I had my little yard signs with the basketball on it because it was Larry Johnson was popular. Grandmama was popular back then. But I had a chance to work with some dynamic leaders like Commissioner Hank Johnson at the time. And then they redistricted my area 2 years ago, and they put me in an area that I could run in. But it wasn't meant for me. It was meant for my neighbor, to run for county commissioner. But talking to Hank and Lou Walker, they said, man, we need more young people. We need folks who want to be engaged and involved. And I wasn't going to do it. I was working for Hank. I was running one of the most successful health programs in the state of Georgia. I said, I just want to help. And after a while, they convinced me after I talked to my wife. You know, you got to have a good wife. I didn't want to ask her at first because I knew she was going to say yes. But that's the type of people that Lou Walker was. He was a mentor. He was a person that would push you. He started the arts, culture, and entertainment for DeKalb County. He wasn't even thinking about the movie industry in DeKalb. I mean, he was in the movie The Firm. He was in The Heat of the Night. He was in the movie called My Cousin Vinny. And so he was already in the industry doing he owned a jazz club at the Underground. And so he was an entrepreneur, economic development, and elected official who cared about the people. He fought for the hospital that's now in Hillendale in South DeKalb. If I can just tell you the stories behind the scenes, they did not want to build a hospital in South DeKalb. I mean, if we could just had the video back then, the fight was vicious because they said it was not going to be prosperous, it wasn't going to work, and they wasn't using the word color. They were saying other words. But Lou Walker pushed and pushed and got that hospital built. And then they told us, because before I got on the board, the previous commissioners, they were not talking about building a senior center in South DeKalb. The only one we had was on Candler Road, which was an old funeral home. And if you went in that senior center back then, you can smell the old funeral home smell. And I said, why do you put seniors in a place like a funeral home? What are they saying to our seniors? But they built that Lou Walker Center over there, and this was the pride and joy, 40,000 square feet in Commission District 5. And you all should go over there, a pool. Those seniors don't sit down. They get down. And so you don't retire over there, you refire. But I just want you to know the legacy of the man that we're honoring today on how he brought the Black Chamber of Commerce to DeKalb and to the state of Georgia. He did that in 2003, 2004, before it was popular. And so now you see the foundation being led with Miss Anna Henderson, and of course our great leader over here who's doing a great job, and I really appreciate her. But I'm going to read this proclamation and hand it. I want you to come back up here, Madam President. I want you up here too. Lou Walker is a community activist and a pillar of the community, worked diligently and tirelessly to bring about change, to promote a higher quality of life in DeKalb County. His mission was to provide an open, accessible government. And the government, he always said, we the people. It was never him by himself. It was always we the people. And I've tried to emulate that for him. That's why I do everything with the people. You keep the people at the center of the decision-making, of the process and how things work, and you make things happen. Mr. Walker was frequently acknowledged as a Renaissance man and man of vision and wisdom. Mr. Walker endeavors stretched far and wide in public service, the film industry. He founded the Black Chamber of Commerce in December of 1996 and served as the president and chairman of the board. He also launched and was an advocate for our young people, providing a quality of life for active seniors. Upon his death in 2004, his wife Teresa was able to fulfill the dream, open up the senior center and service in our community. It's a multi-purpose 40,000 square foot facility built in 2007. And so now therefore I, the commissioners, and also our CEO, Michael Thurman, on behalf of the 750,000 residents in recognition of his legacy, activism, and unwavering commitment that Lou Walker has for his people and service, and do hereby proclaim, of course, this February 20th is the Commissioner Walker Day, and we proclaim it again on the 24th. So thank you all for the Chamber, for continuing this legacy, and God bless you all.
I got to say this secret about Commissioner here. I remember DeKalb County Hospital, okay? I was the president of a chamber in Southwest Louisiana, Lafayette, Louisiana. So I would come to Anna and Teresa and Lou, steal y'all secret sauce, and bring it back to Louisiana. I do want to let y'all know that. And we pushed our diversity from -2% to 7%, and now today we're at 20%. So thank you, DeKalb County.
Yes, and I've been reminded by Commissioner Marita Davis Johnson about MARTA and rail in our area in South DeKalb. And so that was a main push. And now we're going to continue that legacy and push for that rail to have it in our community. And so that's part of that Lew Walker legacy, because that creates economic development. It makes things happen in your community.
And thank you, Pastor Harris. I walked in here, and it's so different than the last time that I've been here, and I hear so much about what you do for this community. I know what you do for this community, and so we thank you and feel blessed to have you in this district. But I just wanted to say also that Larry has been a fighter and also have supported Lew and his ideas since Lew's death in 2004. I just want Larry to be here when I go so that he can continue my legacy. But I would just like to say that Lew Walker, he did talk so much about MARTA coming to South DeKalb. Hank talked about it, Larry talked about it, and now I'm talking about it, and I want you all to be aware that this is something that we're pushing, that it can be done. Do not let anyone tell you that it cannot be done, because it will really benefit. I am a small business person also. My law office is right down the street from here at Trinity Office Park. And so if MARTA comes to South DeKalb, and I don't know how many in here have businesses in South DeKalb, but if we have heavy rail in South DeKalb, it can only enhance what we do. So just be looking out and listening out for meetings with MARTA and information about South DeKalb, because me and Larry and hopefully our CEO, who is wonderful, we will give you information about MARTA bringing heavy rail to South DeKalb. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Johnson & Johnson. All right, appreciate y'all both. Pastor Harris, thank you. God bless you. We look forward to collaborating with you. Thanks for your hospitality. We just feel so warm and welcome here. Thank you so kindly. Yes.
Let me share this. When I called him, and I've known him for a minute, and been in and out of this church for decades, even when you were on the other side. When I called him and I said, I need a venue, and the chamber needs a venue. And he didn't hesitate. He said, absolutely. So I want to personally say to you too, thank you from the chamber, thank you from my heart, thank you for all of the people where we're trying to make a difference. Thank you for opening your doors. And so at this time, I would like to read from the governor's office. This is by the governor of the state of Georgia, and it's a commendation for Lew Walker. Whereas the state of Georgia joins in with the Greater Georgia Black Chamber of Commerce and DeKalb County to celebrate and honor the legacy of Lew Walker. So let's give the governor a round of applause for making a difference. So right now, we have Larry in the center. I would like to bring up Michonne, Jessica, Jimmy. Do we have any other major corporations in the room? Yami. And then we have one more somewhere in here. It should be Mr. Pleasure. Oh, can you come up, please? You don't have to sit. We'll let you say what you need to say.
Okay.
This is, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay. When she said major company, I said, oh, that's not me. My name is Zeron Pledger. I'm the Director of External Affairs for Congressman Hank Johnson. So first, I just want to say, let's give a round of applause. This is Black Excellence. CEO Thurman, Commissioner Larry Johnson, Commissioner Marita Davis Johnson. This edifice is phenomenal, Pastor. I basically bring in greetings from the Congressman. As you know, he's in D.C. working for all of us. So I wanted to just make sure I was here to represent the office, Congressional GA04. 40% of the U.S. GDP is through small businesses. 2/3 of the net new jobs are made by small businesses. And then 50% of the workers are from small businesses. So it speaks volumes of the things that small businesses bring to the table. So never devalue yourself. I hear the frustration. We get a lot of phone calls about things that are happening with the small businesses, but the focus for the Congressman is to make sure that he puts himself in a position to help you all win. We mentioned earlier about 41% of the black businesses losing during COVID, during the pandemic. But one of the things that the Congressman really focused on was the PPP and the EIDL loans. We work very closely with the SBA and the SBDC. I know there was some frustration of different things that were happening, but I just want you guys to know that if you communicated with us, we were doing everything that we could to try to work through that. The Congressman fought and fought and fought. We had Zoom calls and we had webinars and different things of that sort. Something I wanted to share with you real quick. Some of the programs, if you guys can go, I'm not sure what your businesses are, but if you can go through to DOT, Department of Transportation, there are a lot of opportunities there. Also, if you're looking for grants, if you go to grants.gov and you apply for that grant, you can then call our office and let us know you applied for the grant, and we can speak on your behalf in regards to that grant. So I just wanted to share a little bit of that information with you. But again, I just say thank you. Never devalue yourself. Stay focused on the things that you're really concerned about, and it'll produce itself. Thank you. Have a good night.
Did he tell you all he's the guy to go to at U.S. Congressman office? Did he tell you all that? Okay, he's a go-to guy for small businesses. Let me share this. We're about to embark upon some awesome information from some awesome companies and awesome people. And Larry's going to narrate and ask questions. And the most important thing is the answers that they provide. The answer that they provide is what you're looking for. Where is the opportunity? Where is the money? How do I get involved? Who do I contact? When? Okay? So the time will come after they finish this that you will have an opportunity one-on-one to have a conversation with these people that is on this panel. And that is so that you can share with them what you do and they can share with you how to do business with them. And then what I'm going to do for a couple of people that are not here, Miss Stephanie Lee and also Miss Stephanie Jones. Stephanie Lee is with McCarthy Building Companies, and she's out of town and she had planned to be here. So she stated that any of you business who are interested in doing business with McCarthy and some of the projects that they're working on and want the information, that she's willing to work with the chamber to have an event at her company. Or if we have a place, and I know my friend over here would not mind, we can have that meeting here. So those of you who are interested in moving forward with one of the other construction companies, that is McCarthy, and that is to understand what those opportunities are and how you get involved, please come to me. Now, if you are just starting your business, then we need to talk differently, because these companies are looking for what? People who are ready to what? Step up, step out, and work, make it happen, and do a good job. So that's most important. So that's definitely with McCarthy. So also with the airport, this is an event that any of you who are contractors or interested in providing services to the airport, Capital Improvement Program, that's the CIP program. So Stephanie has, on a regular basis, meetings with contractors, one-on-one, where she's telling you how to get involved with the airport. If you have a product or service, you know that the airport buys everything. Now, the airport has been a client of mine for almost 20 years. Now, I can't tell you everybody where to go, but I can tell you where I go. So if if you have a product and you know that you are solid in business and you want to do business with the airport, I can connect you with my contact. This is different from what Stephanie Jones is doing. Stephanie Jones is reaching out to everybody. So just give me your business card before you leave, and say, I want to know who your contact is, Ms. Henderson. I give information. Information is free. So that's it for that. And now I'm going to turn this over to Larry.
All right. They're going to move the podium out the way. All right, I'm back, everybody. Good evening. Are y'all ready to make some major connections? Okay, 3 people. Are y'all ready to make some major connections? Because you got to make dollars. Making money, you got to make it make sense. All right. I'm getting my directions. And so we're going to get ready for a little discussion, and we're going to practice the 3 B's: be specific, be brief, and be gone. And so we're going to start with our major players. These are companies who are doing major work right here in our metropolitan area, and they're going to show you and talk to you about how to connect. But once we finish, they're going to come off stage, and then we're going to have a one-on-one networking session so you can connect and build partnerships and future collaboration. So we'll start to my right, since I'm left-handed. I'm going to start over here. I want you to introduce yourself, tell us your role and what you do, and how people can participate with your company.
Well, good afternoon. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
They hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, my name is Michonne Sawyer. I am the Senior Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Manager for J.E. Dunn Construction. I cover the East Region, healthcare, and aviation. I'm really happy to be here and to see so many of us in this audience. But I want to talk. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to meet many of you. Before we step off the stage, I hope we get an opportunity to share our contact information as well, because I know time is short.
You can do it now. You can share it.
Okay. Well, my email is Michonne, MISHAUNE .Sawyer, SAWYER, @jedunn.com. Michonne.Sawyer @jedunn.com. I am also active on LinkedIn. If any of you want to look me up there, that's a good way to connect as well.
Excellent. Thank you.
That was good and brief. I'm Jessica McMahon, and I am the Supplier Diversity Manager for Brassfield and Gorey. And I'm always looking for opportunities to meet with companies to talk about our bidding process and what construction projects we have coming up. So we can do a lot of that in the one-on-one session. And we have a program at Brassfield and Gorey called Equip, which I've got some flyers for, so that'll be a great thing to take away with you when you leave. The purpose of that is to help, talk about building bridges, is to bridge the gap between meeting someone and actually bidding work and then actually winning work, because we know it's not as quick as we want it to be. It can be quite a long process, especially in the construction, bidding process. So we're just always trying to find ways to get that network growing and get you in the bidding process, and then from there, win some things. So we've got lots of projects going on around the Georgia and the Southeast.
Thank you so much.
Hello, so Jimmy Mitchell, I work for Skanska, and as Al Edwards was saying earlier, it is a collaboration. I would start by saying I am the Senior Director of Business Development here in Atlanta, so I'm pursuing new opportunities. And all of our new opportunities in the Atlanta region in particular, many of them start in a partnership with minority firms. And then going on, like Michael Thurman mentioned earlier, once we win a project in a partnership together, we then execute it with subcontractors to put the work in place. And as he was referring to that 44% number earlier, all of our projects are judged. by the amount of minority subcontractors we work with, and we really enjoy all those partnerships. My contact information is jimmy.mitchell@skanska.com. That is JIMMY.mitchell@SKANSKA.com.
Good job. Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon or good evening. My name is Yami Adiyamo. I am the Community Engagement and Supplier Diversity Manager for Juno Construction. Before I say more about my role, I definitely have to applaud the church for being involved in this. As a believer in Christ, I believe that the church has to be more involved in every aspect of the community. So it's great to see the church being involved in this aspect. So I applaud this church for hosting this event. So part of my role with Juno Construction is to be a champion and advocator for minority and disadvantaged businesses. So I am constantly working with our allies, different organizations, to network and build those relationships throughout the year. We do have specific outreach events for each project, but relationship is key with us. We want to understand, every business, what you have to offer. There's a pre-qualification process that you go through, like Jessica said. It's sometimes can be a lengthy and challenging process, but as an advocator, I help guide you through that process from start to the end to hopefully land you an opportunity. I do have business cards, digital card, and a flyer for you to come take after this.
All right, great job. And one of the things I want each of our major players up here to do is to tell us one partnership, one project that you're working on, and so we can start and get the vision. Because you all out there, I can feel it. You got the entrepreneurial spirit, you got the vision, and I told my folks, I was talking to some people today, you got to feel your fear. A lot of folks don't step out because this up here keeps you in prison. It tells you you can't do this and that. But some folks like you all in this room, you feel the fear, but you still step out. And I think that's very key. It's natural to be fearful. But the folks who step out are the ones in this room. And the folks up on this stage are the ones who not only stepped out on their fear, they now have formed companies, or they're in the position to help you collaborate and build partnerships to make your life and make your business prosperous. So just give us one project you're working on at your company that can help inspire the folks out here about collaboration and partnerships. I'm starting on this end this time.
So I think a great project that we have coming up is the expansion of the National Center of Civil and Human Rights. And by the way, the company I work for, we're a women-owned company, so we're definitely passionate about providing opportunities for minority and disadvantaged businesses. And we're working with a diverse group of stakeholders on this project, and it's geared to start Q3 of this year. Like I said, it's an expansion project worth about, I believe, $40 million. So they are creating the east and west wing of the center, which involves creating more spaces for exhibits, more restrooms, and classroom areas. So if you definitely want to get involved, again, I could guide you to our website so that you could request a pre-qualification application, and then I could guide you through that. But again, it's a great opportunity. I'm definitely anticipating a strong minority and disadvantaged business participation on that project.
Excellent. Skanska.
Yeah, thank you. So we have actively 4 JV partnerships, but I want to tell one story. Back in 2015, Anna mentioned the airport. We went to a meeting similar to this that was hosted by the airport and met Ernest Ellis of FS360. If any of you know who he is, we've worked with him since 2015. And the work we've done together has officially, the work we've accomplished and are contracted to do, just exceeded $500 million since 2015. Those projects include the air side at the airport, and then when you go down the plane train, much of the ceiling renovations there we did together. The North T Gate at the airport that just opened up, and currently a data center.
Excellent.
Thank you. Okay, so a couple projects we have coming up that's in pre-construction right now that are all really excited about having they're big projects with diverse participation. We've got some confidential data centers in Athens, Georgia, and Auburn, Alabama. We're starting to price those right now, and we're going to be really looking for just diverse bid list, outreach events, all that stuff. So there'll be a lot of information coming out about those projects in the next month or so. So if we can connect, you'll get that information directly from me. And the Promise Center, as well as Salvation Army Red Shield Tower. So we've got a handful of projects that are coming up. We're doing the Braves ATM core and shell right by the Braves Stadium right now, which will end up also being a TI for Truist headquarters that we're hoping to secure, which will have just a really great participation in that project as well. Of course, we want to see that on every project that we work on, but it's always awesome when we have clients who are also engaged and shoot for those participation goals. So there you go.
Okay, let me see. We've got a lot going on. First of all, I do want to take just an extra minute to announce that we are starting a healthcare learning series. I am looking for companies that are already doing well in commercial construction and trying to encourage more minority-owned businesses to get into the healthcare industry. One of the things that I noticed when we were going through COVID is two particular areas continue to boom. That was aviation and healthcare construction. They kept moving. And the other thing I kept noticing is that there was very little minority participation. So what we're trying to do is target those contractors. We're not trying to tell you how to market or how to do anything else. We're going to be targeting specifically what's unique about the healthcare industry. What specifically does it take? And what I want to tell you is that we've got a lot of projects going on. We're one of the largest healthcare builders in the country. So we've got continuous healthcare work. We've got a WellStar project going on now. We've also got some work going on at Ponce City Market. We've got some stuff coming up soon at Atlantic Station, and we've got a lot of work going on at I was going to say O'Hare Airport because I was working in Chicago for years, but at Atlanta Hartsfield, we're on a team with a very nice, diverse team with CWI, where we are doing, and Barnsley, which is a woman-owned group. But we are one of the on-call contractors team called ATL Builders. So there's going to be ongoing projects. And what's good about that one, we're also working at Delta Sky Club, but what's good about the on-call is we're anticipating right now, we never know what we're going to get, but a lot of those projects are going to be small ones. So that means that I'm going to be able to go in and create small opportunities for first-tier contracting with us. And what people don't always understand, a lot of the times the opportunities are always lower tier. What I try to do on every project is try to create as many first tier opportunities as I can for those companies that are ready. So that means breaking down into small bid packages. But what happens is that if you're contracting directly with us, you're in those OAC meetings. You're there to see how the sausage is made. And I'll go back to what Al Edwards said earlier. It's about scalability. How do you grow to scale? And the way you grow to scale is to learn how the sausage is made. So we're trying to create those opportunities even when there are no goals from the client, where we can have minority businesses at the first tier. And so we're breaking it out. Instead of maybe leaving the whole electrical contract as one, we might pull out the low voltage if there's a good low voltage company ready to do business. We're trying to figure out how we can do business with as many companies as possible. And at J.E. Dunn, we're also going beyond just the construction piece. We're trying to hire African American and women-owned businesses to come out and do catering. We're hiring different people to help us with our filming, our marketing, if we're doing things like that. Right now, I'm looking for dynamic speakers for events we're holding, and I'm going to stop right now, but I just wanted to kind of get all that out.
You got their mouth watering now. They ready. These folks ready, baby, on the edge of their seat. I've got to get me a contract.
I want to say one more thing. So our industry in construction, we do demolition And years ago, we would try to judge how much we recycle versus how much goes in the landfill. And a lot of us came together over a decade ago and started a nonprofit called Life Cycle Building Center, which does construction material reuse. And through a grant from the EPA, we formed a coalition called Rebuild Atlanta, Rebuild ATL, and we had a first generation workforce development program called Breaking Barriers. And the first, we had 20 individuals from Atlanta enter the program, and 12 graduated 4 weeks later. And that's great because these individuals are going to be champions in the reuse industry, which is kind of a new industry that we're all facilitating here. And I just want to add this point because I was looking around the room, and the employer, we're still trying to get some of these 12 folks hired. Some of them have jobs. Many of them want to be entrepreneurs. So reach out to us if there's any desire to be connected to this reuse industry, taking demolition materials and reusing it. But the employer partners on that Workforce Development Coalition include Juno, J.E. Dunn, Skanska, McCarthy, so many of the groups here. So, we also work together to try to do good in the community as well.
Great. Y'all give our major players a great hand. And I want you to know, because the Georgia Black Chamber of Commerce, this is the type of networking and connections that you make. And our President Sylvester and Ms. Henderson, I want y'all to give them a great hand, because like you all could have been anywhere, but they feel that they want to help you. And I think that's very important. And we in church, so I can say this, you got to walk by faith and not by, you got to walk by faith and not by, and you got to see it. One thing about me, I don't look at what's surrounding me. If I looked at Candler Road on how I looked when I moved here in the 90s, I could say, oh, I'm defeated. But you got to see the promise. And what you see up here and what you all want to get on these 101s is you got to see yourself connecting with these companies so you can be that $1 million, $2 million and go to that $1 billion, right? But it all starts with the connection. Covey said it best. You got to begin with the end in mind. You begin with the end in mind. It's about networking, collaboration, and hiring folks from your community to make it happen. So you're going to get this opportunity now. The major players are going to come down off the stage. They want to network with you, connect with you, all because the Black Chamber of Commerce brought this to us. So, all right, so give them a hand as they come off the stage to connect with you.